Welcome back, everyone. I hope you all are feeling a bit refreshed. We've had quite an intense morning with our amazing speakers so far. People are still filtering into the room, so if you want to take your seats, welcome to everyone who is at home and watching us online as well. I hope you also managed to get a nice cup of tea and a snack to keep you going. Now I'm your host for the next 3 sessions before lunch. We have a few different speakers and also a really interesting panel discussion as well. Okay, so we're ready? We're ready to get going? People need to sit down? Perfect. So our first speaker for the morning session is Martin Kreck from Vodafone, and he is going to be sharing some insights into LLMs in the corporate sphere and some of the opportunities and obstacles.
Thank you. Good morning. Good morning. Can I ask for the slides, please? There is something more than this black screen. So, meanwhile, are you looking forward with this AI stuff? Who's scared a little bit? Who's looking forward to AI age? Who's scared? No one? Never mind. We can, make equal at the end. Oh, good. So it should be working right now. Good. So I'm Martin Krček. I was working in marketing for several years, but after it was AI age started, so I said, okay, maybe it's good time to move to this AI section. Do you know what does it mean? This one? It's actually from the Bible, and it's saying, in the beginning was the Word. And I think it's very similar to common time and common age when we, as a human, would like to be in touch with computers. It's perfect to know how to use keyboard and mouse and iPhone, etc. But for us, it's very nature to use words. Only because when we are small, we can talk, and it will be very nice to use this interface for computers. So when we're going back to several years ago, for example, 2020 or, 10 more years, when we wanted to create a chatbot, what was the way how to do it? So we need to create conversation trees, something like this. It's super easy to read, but super complicated. So you need someone who create a conversation. Then you need to find a right platform. You can use, maybe today, the same thing what was like several years ago was in Microsoft Composer or Dialog from Google. And it really brings you nice benefit because all these chatbots are quite fast. It's clear. You put some question and you got the right answers. And I call it like secured answers because it's very easy for testing. Because when you ask, what's your name? It's always answered the same way which you are expecting. But sometimes you deal with this. User probably will ask something and the chatbot will answer, sorry, I don't understand. I don't understand. So what is the way how you can increase the satisfaction? So you can bring more dialogues. So it means more complicated things. Maybe you need to add some small talks. And to bring more, trainings, intents, and again, trainings, and some testing. But, last year, or maybe 2 years ago, started something like solution which can help to our chatbots. It's called this generative AI, LLM. And I can imagine that it's like a small student, this large language model, because it can understand, that's good. It can read. That's perfect because it can read what we ask, and also it can write an answer. And only what we need to bring this internal knowledge base, like a specific domain, which is relevant for our business. But which LLM? When we go through the past of the few 4, 5 years, we can see the number of LLMs or these models or AI models are increasing. And for example, it's faster and smaller. It's more complex. When we look to Gemini 1.5 Pro, it can really work with 1 million tokens, which is really unbelievable. Also, I'm quite happy that a few days or weeks ago was presented this European Union, I don't know if it's first, but quite interesting, this LeChat, which is created by all the French interesting, let's say, companies, and I guess it's also touching what we have in European Union about the security, etc. So you need to choose this LLM, but how to implement into the business? Because when we are playing, for example, when I ask ChatGPT about a holiday, what to do in Edinburgh within 3 days, it's perfect. But in a company, we need to think about, okay, I'm sharing some personal information, not only mine, but also our customers. So the personal ID is the first thing. I'm sharing the same thing as on social media, but I'm sharing email, phone, name, profile, maybe photograph of me. But also I'm sharing information from the IP address. So the other side knows where I am based, what time of the day or week I'm using this AI system, all the prompts, etc. But for the companies, we need to, because I'm from the Czech Republic, from Prague, we need to also respect and keep the European Union rules, something like GDPR. Also, the processes and storage must be kept on European servers. So, and by this point, we need to create the AI a little bit different. Are there anyone from the IT department? Maybe some of you. But what is interesting, that it must be locked everything. So you can bring this AI model, like ChatGPT or Gemini from Google, into your environment, and it must be secured as the same way as you are using your personal data, your budget, your super secret information and contract with others. So you need to bring to your enterprise architecture. And when we look to the providers, we can use a platform like a Google. They are still changing their names. Right now, it's easiest way to go like Gemini, but you can use Gemini inside of your Google workspace. The same with Microsoft. It's called like Copilot or Azure OpenAI, and it's running inside of your SharePoint. It's running inside of your OneDrive. So it's inside of your environment, and you can really trust that this AI is running only for you. It's not selling and sending information somewhere else. Maybe you can use ChatGPT, but they have also the version like for enterprise. But I'm from Vodafone, but we don't have access for this enterprise. So maybe we are a small company to use it. So therefore, I'm this big question mark if I can really use it inside of the European Union together with my rules, which I have to do. But what is good, there's an open source. This open source you can run on your own servers. You can use Google Cloud, Amazon services, Azure services, and also there's several options. You can use Gemma from Google. You can use Meta Llama. So there are several things which are open source, and the only thing which you have to think about is the credibility of the provider. It's open. Yes, you can read it, but still you have to trust that the provider is working perfectly. And also, if you want to play with something on you or do local development, you can use services which is running only on your PC or notebook. For example, I can take GPT-4 All, and it's running on my notebook. without any internet connections needed. It's running only on a CPU. I can use a product from NVIDIA, chat with RTX, and it's running on my graphical card, or Gemma, which is running again inside only on my computer. So there are some providers, and how to connect to your chatbot. It could be very easy, because when you take, for example, this Google Vertex builder, you select only the folder, or database, or URL, or API, and the connection is done within 1 minute. And then you can create like a small example, which I'm presenting right now. I put it there like internal document saying how much money you will get when you're traveling from one city to the other. And it's answer you the question and also provide you the information about the sources, where it's come from. It's in my language, it's in Czech, but because it's a large language model, it can be also used in English and French, German, and other languages. Very similar situation with Microsoft. They introduced Copilot Studio, or you can use the Microsoft Composer, where you again bring your internal documents, which are found in your SharePoint or OneDrive or database or anywhere else, connect there, and that's it. For the small talk, for the basic information, it's go to your resources, and if it's not there, you can like force it, or you can make happen that it says, sorry, I don't know the answer, if it's not there. For example, when I compare which mobile operator is better, and I don't want to say about that one, I will not provide the core of the LLM this information. It says, sorry, I don't have this answer. So it's very easy to implement, but there's things which you have to think at the beginning what you and how you will do it. Can you buy it, these solutions, for example, from Google or Microsoft? Or can you implement on your own or develop on your own? Because the speed of AI is going incredibly fast. You can spend like 3 to 6 months of development on your own solutions, and suddenly big companies like Microsoft and Google introduce the same. So as we saw on previous slides. But when you connect this large language model to your chatbots, it's bring, let's say, more things which are like helpful. For example, it's very fast and easy to learn. You upload new documents, local knowledge, and also you can work with personalization. For example, when a customer is calling to the customer support, you know who is calling because you get the information from your internal system. Then you know it's repeating calls, and he's asking about the internet if internet is out of order in this area. So at the beginning, you can provide him really the personal information like a first response. Also, some challenges are also getting like smaller. For example, speed or latency. You remember when you put like a few weeks ago, 3 months ago in ChatGPT for some questions, and it's not guaranteed that the answer will be immediately. Sometimes you get the answer within 1 second, sometimes in 5 seconds. So you don't, for chat it's maybe fine, but not for the voice. But during the time, the latency is also getting faster. For example, last week I was on Google, and it was even for developers about Gemma and Gemini. And what you can see that these models are super fast, that sometimes it's faster than you press the enter key, you got the answer. So you can play with that, and the latency is probably not a problem anymore. But what is hard, that you still cannot trust that the answer is correct. And also how to test this scenario. Because when you have a chatbot with pre-coded answer, you can run test which is still the same. But on this generative AI, the answers are still, the wording is a little bit different. So there are another example for customer support. When you look what LLM can do for you and how can you use it in customer support, it's probably the most of the are really relevant, like text generation, summarization, analyze the sentiment. And what we did and what we are playing with is something like Whisper for the agent. Human customer is calling to the call center, and AI can listen their conversation. They can get the idea what they are talking about, and it can really, based on a customer need, show the response or the text for the agent. So the agent can read it and can get some suggestion. Oh, the customer is talking about lost SIM card, or I need to buy some new phone, and what are the benefits. So LLM can, or this generative AI can be like a whisper for the agent and provide him some information. Also, it could be very nice as an agent training. You can use the prompt like be a customer and try to ask agent for something. So you have a nice applications for training your customer support. Or check the chatbot responses, because sometimes we need to do what people ask, what chatbot answer, and was it correct? I don't know. We can use these applications for to compare and make really huge and fast responses for that. So it was for customer support. For marketing, as you know, AI can see. So we can provide him image, and he can create the first description. So when you are running eShop, or for example, in Vodafone we are selling mobile phones, or it could be whatever, like perfumes, etc. So you can provide image, and it can prepare like small text or label generation for that. You can also take the images, and there are also mentioned several tools which you can use, and it can remove the background and bring the new background for your products, and it's again depend on your needs. And when so it can totally increase the quality of your eShop or product or whatever you are using. And the last thing is this multimodal search, which is, I think, the topic for this year. And you don't have to have a description of everything, all your goods inside of the shop. So, because it can really read from the images. For example, when you type a T-shirt with Star Wars, it can go through all the images and say, oh yes, this is a Star Wars T-shirt, and this one is too, without anything like indexed before. Again, I provided a link for the demo, and you can look how it's nicely worked. But sometimes you have like surprise from AI. I created, it's in my own language, it's in Czech, website which called I'm Robot, and it's every 6 hours takes a topic like healthcare, cooking, technology, etc. And it's automatically take a topic, create an article like name, parex, text, and image, and publish to the web and to the Facebook. And it's doing automatically. Every 6 hours, new article, new article, new article. But there were something like big surprise. Because when you run once, for example, prepare a recipe for pizza, it will prepare really nice description, how to do it, what you're using, how many calories are there. So it was working. But sometimes, let's say after 100, 200 times when it's published, it changed the, for example, title. And right now they have an error like 70 tips how to cook something. Another recipe is, again, 70. So it's changing the outputs. And for me, the biggest surprise was when I looked, a few days ago on a website, and the title was, "Do you want to win kitchen of your dream? Just send us, Martin, your recipe, and you can probably win something." But it was not in a task. It is not a prompt for that. The prompt is still the same, but the creativity behind it is, surprising. So, how to implement and what you can do. So, for me, the first thing, start to use AI on your personal life. Just take Gemini, take ChatGPT-4, and use it. Let's say 1 hour every week, just to be familiar with that. Also, inside of your company, ask to other people, because what I know from from Vodafone, from other companies, that there are definitely people from customer support, marketing, HR, which they have their own vision what to do. Or talk to me. And the last thing is, when AI replies my job, what will I do? Maybe you can start to fly, because it's still analog thing, and this is what I started to be like a pilot. So that's all. Thank you so much, and probably the presentation can be shared with you, or you can send me a message and I will send it to you. Thank you.